Good morning, Cadre family. It's Luke Wentland. I'm going to come to you live twice this week. So Monday Motivation, and then I do Tales of Leadership. Sometimes I do it on Tuesdays, or sometimes I do it on Thursdays. See the play with the T there. Tales of Leadership Tuesday, Tales of Leadership Thursday. But regardless, I'm here and I'm excited and I love it. So it's really always the best in the world to be a part of the Cadre community. Today I woke up with JC and I couldn't help but laugh. It was the Shannon Paul wood chips. It was one of the best things ever, like seeing how many wood chips that Shannon Paul had out. I actually saw that live and it just made my week. So that was a good one. But Tales of Leadership. So I'm going to share a story today. Everything I always share is true. Everything I always share, I hope that one way or another, just hopefully sends a message to you in ways in which you might just like lean into a different perspective and a different thought that you have in your brain than you may have like just immediately went to, okay? So this Tales of Leadership that I want to share today is about 10 years ago. All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So 10 years ago, well, it is a beautiful backdrop, Speak Wonder. It is, it's always one of my favorite things. Decaf coffee, get going, and here we are. But so 10 years ago, it was year two, let's call it, year one of an organization I started called North Star Behavioral Health. And an individual was one of the best employees we had. He worked overnights, he worked mornings. It was a 24/7 facility helping support individuals with substance use disorder. And this individual just got back. He was deployed, came back. He was probably 21, 22 years old from the National Guard. Just an unbelievable young man and really smart. He had also had a lot going on, right? So he had a young wife, no, not a young wife, but he had a wife, 21 years old, a wife, and then 2 kids, and they just had another one coming, right? So all of this was happening, and he would always, say, can I get as many hours as possible, Luke? Can I get as many hours as possible? I need to make money. Like, I got a lot going on, all the things, okay? So we have one office that is a locked office that has like lock 1, lock 2, lock 3, right? So it's like lock 1 in the office, lock 2 in a cabinet, lock 3 to get into the next thing. Only a few people have access to those things. So, when you have the ability to kind of like figure out who did this, it wasn't very hard. So what ended up happening is this individual ended up writing out checks and ended up writing out checks for himself to be able to cover some things. There was a rent coverage, there was car coverage, there was some things that happened that he ended up writing checks out for. And there was one or two things that he could do. Number one, was I pissed? I was frustrated, I was upset, but what I felt was the number one thing to do was to sit him down and talk about it. And I said, so-and-so, that was his name. I said, no matter, how this is going to go, I want to let you know right out the gates, like, you will no longer be working here. But these are the one or two things we can do. We can, report this and move it forward, or you can find a way to, pay back the funds, etc. And then the last one, of course, is, I just want to talk to you about, like, did you not feel you could come to us? Did you not feel that we wouldn't be able to help? Did you not feel that you didn't have the ability to, like, ask for it? And he just said, well, I never thought you'd give it to us. And just so we're on the same page, 3 weeks earlier, we gave out a short-term loan for another employee that was going through a tough financial hardship. This is all true. And so I explained, I said, I'm not going to tell you the name of the individual, but 3 weeks ago, we had a soft loan that we helped support an individual, and we were able to work through their check and whatnot. And so to think like what you did and what you jeopardized and the risk that you put yourself under, you're in military, you're all these things, and you wrote out and you forged checks. Like, I won't take it to the next level, but I just need you to know you need to pay it back. 3 to 5 years later, he paid it back. It's actually like 4 years later. He paid it back in full. He would always work a little bit, pay it back, pay it back, pay it back. But what I want to say is, though it didn't mean it didn't hurt, and also didn't mean like that I wasn't like stuck and froze in that moment. I'll be very real. Like 10 years ago, I never thought that an employee would be falsifying or forging checks and taking those checks and, for their own benefit and supporting their family and do whatever they need to do. And there's many of like opportunities to lean into, to share about like how you've been quote unquote wronged, right? You've been wronged. We've all been wronged as, victims for a minute. But so I stuck with it and it hurt. And I was like, I need to talk to somebody about this. I shared. And what's interesting is, if you run a business and you run an operation, usually within 3 to 5 years, you'll have some level of fraud. And what's crazy is here we are, 3+ years into Cadre. And, again, nobody did this, but we had a fraudulent issue with our credit card, where we had to replace all the credit cards and update all the credit cards and all the things. It wasn't an employee. It was nothing like that. But it just, again, another example. Like when you own an operation, when you have a business. But back in the day, 10, 11 years ago, I took it so personal. I was like, I can't believe he'd do this. I can't believe he'd do it to North Star. I can't believe that he would take this and move it forward like this. And so again, just sat him down, talked to him and said, like, one thing's going to be true. And then one thing is going to be your choice. Like one thing's going to be true. Number one, we can do one of two things here, right? Like you will be terminated. There's no denying that fact. But the second part is on you. Either it will be reported or it won't be reported. And I really do not want to report this. You have your military career. You have your wife. You have your 3 now kids. So why don't you do the right thing and just pay it back in time? And he said he would. And he made whole on that. And he absolutely made whole on that. And the thing of it is this, where this all comes around and why it all comes full circle is this. At what point do you let things go? At what point do you let things go? Right? I mean, I'll be real, like hung on to it for probably like a week. Probably held on to it a week, sleepless nights, thinking about this, like the why. Why would he do this? Why would he put himself at jeopardy? Why would he do that? Why would he risk it? And to realize, like, that's not on me. That is not on me. Like, I'm not here, like, that's not my decision. I didn't do it, none of those things, but I just literally ate it for a while. So what I want to push back on you all is, what are you eating maybe today or this week or this month that is from like a day ago, a week ago, a month ago? I mean, my gosh, I had an individual write thousands of dollars of checks against me, and 5-7 days later, I'm like, it's not on me. I'm going to let that one go and move past it, move forward. There's been many of things that have hurt. It doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. Doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. Doesn't mean you can't feel it. Doesn't mean all those things. But there has to get a point where you got to move past it. You have to move past it. You have to go and you have to say to myself, okay, that happened. I'm moving forward. I'm going on, and I'm not going to be stuck in this cycle. JC always talks about it. He said, there's 3 things that are going to happen in any moment of your life. You are either going to regress, you're going to have regression, you're going to have progression, or you're going to have stagnation, right? So just look at this one event. Regressed. I stagnated. I stood like tall in the moment for a week of like, why did this happen? What transpired? And I found like it was killing me. Like it was killing me to sit there. And then last but not least is you've got progression. So again, regression, progression, stagnation. So I want to share again. Are you regressing in your decisions? Are you stagnating? Are you staying the same wherever you are? Or are you progressing? And the one that will kill you is stagnation. Regression is amazing. Progression is amazing. Regressing can be hard, and it can be a lot of like, ugh. It can even be I gotcha moments. It can be all these things. But then you can find your way through it, find yourself unfrozen, and continue to progress. So I leave you with, I had thousands of dollars of checks written against me, and I love that man. We have connected. We still talk. This is 6 years later. I know what his names of his kids are. He is a wonderful young man, but man, did he hit a tough patch in his life. And so I encourage you to find ways to forgive those people that even sometimes hurt you the most. And it could be in business, it could be in life, it could be all those things. And sometimes it's okay to put up a barrier and say, hey, we aren't going to be here today. We aren't going to be friends. We aren't going to be all those things. But you know what we are going to be? We're going to be able to move forward. So I encourage you. And then also like how you show up from the moment's really big too. All right, you guys, take care. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Lift somebody up. I hope the Tales of This Leadership hit you one way or another. I think there's a lot there that you might be able to look in yourself and say, man, I'm holding on to something today. I'm holding on to something today and I got to let it go. Sherry Recovery Cafe, accountability though. Love how you handle the situation with corrective approach and empathy. I'm always going to be human first, no matter what. No matter what, it's just human first. It is what it is. I'm always going to lean into that side. Love the story. Thanks for sharing. Leadership's not easy. Oh man, it's the hardest thing in the world. that's for damn sure. When they say like leadership is tough and you're on an island and all these things, like number one, it's really true. But number two is, when you have the right people around you to support and make the right decisions moving forward, you're going to find yourself in like this beautiful moment of flow where you can make decisions, fail, fall down, and feel amazing while you're doing it. So there you go. Take care of y'all. Have a wonderful week. Peace, and lift somebody up today. The world definitely needs it. Bye-bye.